Alrighty, so we've got another viewer question here on Burnice. So Burnice seems like an energy hungry character. Could you test what combination of energy regeneration, Anomaly Mastery, and Attack Disc would work best for her without her signature engine? Well, the good news here is that we've already kind of tested the energy regeneration component in a roundabout way in another video that I made on Burnice's signature engine. Here I had the same worries in that Burnice wouldn't be able to function properly without the energy regeneration that's on her signature engine. Instead, what we found was that no matter the playstyle, the energy regeneration had no effect on our rotations. We tried a regular disorder comp Burnice, a Piper and Burnice team, and even an on-field hypercarry Burnice. So what we could gather from that test was that energy regeneration D6s just simply aren't necessary on Burnice at all, with or without her signature engine. So we can simply cross that one off the list for this video. The question on Anomaly Mastery versus attack percentage though is an interesting one, so let's do that today. First up, let's talk about Anomaly Mastery. So this stat is responsible for the rate of anomaly buildup that you get. And it's interesting in that this is the only source of Anomaly Mastery that you can get on your equipment compared to attack percentage, which can roll on any one of the 6 discs. So it does have rarity going for it, but let's see how much of a difference Anomaly Mastery makes and whether or not Burnice even needs it. So my test here is going to be pretty simple. We'll be doing 3 tests 2 times. For test 1, what we want to see is how much anomaly Burnice applies from off-field using her afterburn. So we'll apply Scorch and then we'll swap off and have Lycon auto attack until he depletes Burnice's heat gauge. For test 2, we're going to see how much anomaly we can apply from our EX special. So we'll have Burnice on field and then we're just going to double tap EX special and do a double flamethrower attack until the attack ends. And then for test 3, we're going to be testing Burnice's full combo, which will be a charged attack into a double flamethrowers. So this is going to be your go-to combo for refilling Burnice's heat gauge. We'll do these 3 tests on 2 identical loadouts, except one will be running an attack D6 and then the other will be running an Anomaly Mastery D6. Okay, so here's test 1, Burnice off-field afterburn. So on the left here we've got our attack Burnice with 118 Anomaly Mastery, and on the right we've got our D6 Anomaly Mastery disc Burnice with 153 Anomaly Mastery. So that's around a 30% difference. So we're looking to see how that 30% translates in anomaly application. And there we go. We've got what looks like to be just a smidge over 75% of the bar on the left, and then we're sitting at pretty much 99% on the right, which, surprise surprise, is a 30% difference when going from 76% to 99%. Okay, so now on to test 2, a full double flamethrower EX attack. So similar to before, on our attack Burnice we field about 220 to 230 degrees of our meter, so that's roughly 63%. And on our AM Burnice we field about 300 degrees, so that's about 83%, which once again also works out to be about a 30% difference between the two. And now for our last test, the Burnice bread and butter combo charged attack into double flames. So with this one, our attack Burnice filled about 95% of our meter, while the Anomaly Mastery Burnice went and filled the entire meter, which triggered burn. So that's some fairly straightforward results there on the Anomaly Mastery front. We can safely assume that there is a 30% difference when using an Anomaly Mastery D6, but then what about damage? Is the difference in damage going to be enough to offset the slower anomaly application speed? Let's have a look at that. So for this test, I prepared 2 near identical D6s in terms of anomaly proficiency. I wanted to make sure that we get to see the full difference a 30% attack disc gives, but realistically, our Anomaly Mastery D6 can roll with attack percentage on it, so in reality, the difference between an Anomaly Mastery and an attack percentage disc could be much less. For these tests, we're firstly going to be looking at Burnice's main role as an off-field anomaly applicator. So first we'll check out her off-field afterburn damage. Then I also wanted to look at how much of a difference it makes to her disorder damage with Jane. So let's check out afterburn since it's pretty straightforward. We can see that with an attack D6, our afterburns are dealing 8,336 damage per proc. And we're dealing 6,870 damage a proc with the Anomaly Mastery D6. That's roughly a 20% difference between the two. This is going to vary depending on a number of factors such as team composition and buffs, but it does give us a rough gauge. Then over to disorder. So this one is also going to vary quite a bit depending on a few factors as well, but in this example let's just look at how much we can trigger off of an assault blowing up burn. The numbers are going to vary a little due to Jane's buffs and passives, but we should be able to get a rough ballpark number. So yeah, from what I'm seeing, there's slight variances, but it's somewhere around the range of 320k on AM versus 370k with attack, which is roughly around a 15% difference. So what's the takeaway from this? We can safely say that energy D6s are off the table, as it's just simply not necessary for Burnice. In terms of AM disc, you're looking at roughly a 30% faster anomaly application, and with an attack disc, you're looking at somewhere between 15 to 20% bigger numbers, although this will be reduced depending on if your Anomaly Mastery disc rolls with attack percentage as a substat, and also your team buffs. Personally, my takeaway from all this is that while Anomaly Mastery is the best choice in most cases, I think that going with a good attack disc is also fine in most scenarios, especially if it rolls really well. Anomaly Mastery is a rare stat, but the thing is, Burnice applies so much burn anyway that in a prolonged fight, you likely wouldn't feel the difference. In most encounters, the difference between an attack and mastery disc will muddy up pretty quickly due to all of the residual anomaly floating around from previous rotations. However, there are some key scenarios in which Anomaly Mastery disc gets a big boost. Firstly, if you're running the Weeping Gemini, I would strongly recommend an AM disc here, as this engine only cares for anomaly triggers in order to build stacks. So the faster you pop that burn, the faster your damage ramps up. Secondly, Grace teams. For a similar reason, in a Grace team you ideally want to be clearing shock with burn and then clearing burn with shock and then rinsing and repeating as quickly as possible. The AM here will be more beneficial to you overall compared to an attack disc. And then lastly, encounters with multiple waves will benefit more from AM. While prolonged encounters don't benefit that much from AM, having fresh enemies appearing on the field will. Having the ability to quickly apply and trigger your anomaly effects will be important for quickly maximizing your damage. So hopefully this showcase helps you guys make an informed decision on what D6 you want to run. If you've got any other questions on Burnice before she comes out, please let me know down in the comments.